this was a moment that Giants fans have been waiting for. A zero turnover game from Daniel Jones. I feel like people should be throwing parades in New York right now. But of course we can't because of social distancing. But Daniel Jones finally had a zero turnover game. And I guess the question that everybody has is, can he keep this up? I mean, what do you think?
Well, I'll say this. I don't know if he can keep up the no turnovers because that's what he's been for the past 2 seasons is he makes great plays, but he also makes poor decisions that I think a lot of it has to do with his offensive line hasn't been that great. And he also fumbles the ball a lot. It's not just interceptions, it's his ball security with fumbles, which he's
Yep.
improved. I'll give him credit. And he's made a couple great runs the past few weeks. Um, I don't know if he can continue the no turnover games moving forward. When you look at the Eagles defense hasn't been great this season, so that doesn't really impress me. And moving forward, there's going to be tougher tests on the schedule. He has the Ravens, he has the Cardinals. He also gets lucky with matchups like the Bengals, the Seahawks defense, the Cowboys defense. So he will have opportunities to build on something like this when it comes down to the question of can they win the division, because that's obviously the next question. If he can keep this playoff, can they win the division? It becomes a whole different conversation because the division right now is the Eagles at 3-5-1, the Giants at 3-7. Personally, I don't think the Washington football team or the Cowboys are going to rebound from where they're at right now. It's turned into a race between the Eagles and the
Yep.
Giants just got that win they needed over the Eagles. So it's anybody's race from here to the end of the season.
Um, it's Daniel Jones is gonna throw another. He's gonna have a turnover next game, and if not next game, the game four. He's just what he is. Daniel Jones is just a turnover frenzy quarterback, and a lot of it is sometimes he holds on to the ball too long and he makes few mistakes. Now I think he played the Eagles. The Eagles are very poor in the secondary outside of Darius Slade Jr. I think that's why he didn't throw an interception. I think this shouldn't be a step forward in the sense that he's going to stop having turnovers because you got to remember he didn't have a touchdown either. So it's not like he had a touchdown. No, he didn't have a touchdown. He didn't have an interception. He did have a rushing touchdown, but that's it. So I think this is just a good game. He didn't have a turnover. I think he'll have a turnover next game or the week after.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll be turnover free, but I think the question people want answered is he going to at least win us games and not cost us games with his turnovers?
Mm.
And to that, I feel like, maybe he finally got the monkey off his back that the only teams that he basically beat were the Washington football team and the Redskins, last year. He finally beat a team. He finally beat the Eagles, another team besides that team, and Tampa Bay along with that. But I think Daniel Jones, he has these flashes that he's super great. Then he has these times where he looks super bad. And I think just with the luck that's gone around in New York, he's going to have a few of those games or maybe, two of those games to end off the season, just enough for the Giants not to draft a quarterback. And they'll run it back with him the very next year, and that's when we'll judge him. But in reality, the Giants could be a way better team right now. I know that once they signed Blake Martinez, Kyle Fackrell, Bradbury, Logan Ryan, I said this team is going to be, it's going to be okay defensively. I wasn't seeing 12th ranked defense in the league defensively, but that's what they've been. The Giants have been a hell of a defense, and they've been keeping their offense in games. And now it's up to Daniel Jones to capitalize on that and to start winning them some games because this NFC East is wide open. And that being said, do you think that the Giants can make a run at winning the division?
Personally, I think they do, and I don't think it has anything to do with Daniel Jones. I think that all he has to do is keep doing what he's been doing. The defense has been one of the best units in the league. And I give all the credit in the world to Patrick Graham, who has come in there and totally turned that unit around. James Bradbury has been a Pro Bowl level corner this year, so that was a great signing for him. Blake Martinez gave them a leader in the middle of the field, which they haven't had. And Jabril Peppers has been playing the best football of his career since coming over from Cleveland. So that defensive unit has been super impressive, and it keeps them in football games. And you look at their schedule this year.
Jack, you didn't mention somebody.
Who am I missing?
Leonard Williams with 5
Oh,
sacks.
Of course, Leonard Williams.
I said he was going to be
Jet.
I said he was going to be a steal for the Giants when the trade was made, and he has been.
Yeah, he has. And when you look at their schedule, they've played some really good teams. Well, the first week of the season, they didn't have the Steelers on the ropes per se, but they hung in with them. They held them to a 10-point game. The Bears, they lost by 4. They got blown out by the Niners, but then they held the Rams to a 1-possession game. The Cowboys, they lost to by 3, and that was with Dak, the game that he got hurt, of course. But Dak played almost that whole game into the second half. Then they won by 1. They lost by 1. They lost to the Buccaneers, one of the best teams in the league, by 2. And now they rattled off 2 wins in a row. So they've been in football games. There's no question. If Daniel Jones could have eliminated the turnovers, they would be running away with the division. But even with that, the defense has held them in games. So if Daniel Jones can be slightly better with the turnovers and the defense stays doing what they've been doing, I think they win the division.
Browns, Seahawks, Packers, Saints, Cardinals. That is the next 5 games for the Philadelphia Eagles. So, yes, I do think the Giants can win the division. Just because of the simple fact that we can easily lose those 5 games, literally.
But the Giants have the Bengals, Seahawks, Cardinals, Browns, Ravens, and Cowboys.
I think it's going to – oh, my God.
I think that 2 of those games, the Ravens and the Cardinals – I'm chalking up as losses. I don't think they could hang with those 2 teams. The Seahawks, that's going to be a tough one for them, but I think they could win it because the Seahawks defense has been so bad. And with a great defense, we see Russell Wilson is having some struggles. The other games, I mean, the Browns, the Bengals, the Cowboys, those should be very winnable games for the Giants with the way they've been playing the past 2 weeks. So I think it speaks towards the division that the Giants are even in the hunt right now,
literally,
with their record. But that's all you can do is play in your division. They've gotten themselves to a point where they're competing for it, and all they have to do is keep it up on defense moving forward. And Daniel Jones has to slightly eliminate some of the turnovers. Doesn't even have to be turnover free the way he was this past week. He just has to be okay turnover-wise, and they'll win the division.
See, in my opinion, I feel like maybe if there was like a one game gap, they could win it. But I think 2 games is too much of a gap for them to win the division. I think it's over. Maybe they can be second in division and at 4-12 or 5-11. But I think it's just way too late. They had games they could have won earlier in the year, and they missed on those opportunities, and that's what's going to cost them when trying to get into the playoffs. And it's honestly a disgrace that we have to talk about one of these horrible teams getting into the playoffs when the NFC has so many other better teams in the division. I mean, better teams in the conference.
I'll tell you what. If the Eagles don't make the playoffs, there's only one way that is true, and that's if Carson Wentz keeps playing the football that he's been playing.
12 touchdowns and 12 interceptions.
This isn't a conversation that I want to have because I like Carson Wentz. I know Riv doesn't want to have it, but if they don't make the playoffs and Carson Wentz keeps playing at this level, you have to consider, is he even going to finish the season for you guys, let alone be your guy next season? I would rather see Jalen Hurts than watch Carson Wentz the way he's played the last 2 weeks. That's just my personal opinion. He has not impressed me whatsoever, and I would see what you have in Jalen Hurts. See if you caught a diamond in the rough like the Ravens did with Lamar Jackson. And that's just my take. Carson Wentz has looked like a lost puppy out there the past few weeks, and it's sad because when he was healthy before that injury, he was an MVP-level quarterback, and he just has never returned to that same level.
He has a chance to redeem himself. These next 5 games, he definitely has a chance to show, all right, I still got it. So we'll definitely see. I mean, don't know why you're putting that laughing emoji up. Your team hasn't made the playoffs in a decade, so that's just don't even know why you're doing that. Well, we'll definitely see because these next games against the Browns, Seahawks, Packers, Saints, Cardinals, you never know. So we'll see.
I'll say this. The last 2 games, the Cowboys and Washington football team should be a cakewalk. Those should be 2 easy wins.
Yeah. Well, we lost to the Redskins, so I don't know.
In between the Packers, Saints, Cardinals, those are all probably losses. That makes the Browns and the Seahawks incredibly important games. So these next 2 games, will tell you a lot of what the Eagles are going to be moving.
I mean, we beat the Packers last year, so you never know.
Do you think they're going to beat the Packers this year?
Hey, we beat them in Lambeau.
They almost lost to the Jaguars.
So we'll see. I don't know.
Hey, what's up, guys? You just finished watching a clip of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran.
My name is Jack Barteck.
My name is River Brown.
And we are your hosts for this podcast. We want to thank you guys for watching the clip. Like, subscribe, and comment, and share if you would care to, because it helps us grow. We're trying to make this a full-time thing. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting, and see you next time.